Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I have Jason Schemmel. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great. So the reason why I asked you to join me is because you have been doing a very cool event for the past couple of years. This will be your third year coming up?
Coming up, yes.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it and what actually brought that idea about, because I actually think it's really cool.
Yeah, so all it really came from was from a meme that I found online. It was a picture of guys at an Islanders game, and the guy took a picture of this section. All these guys are dressed in ref shirts. He's like, this section here is just going all out for the refs. Every offsides, icing, whistle, they go nuts and all that stuff. And I'm like, why don't we just do that at the Griffins game? That seems like it would just be a lot of fun to do. I mean, it would be really confusing for everyone, but confusing but fun. So yeah. I reached out to a bunch of friends of mine and said, I want to do this. Are you in? And everyone's like, absolutely. I wasn't expecting to have as big of a group as I did the first year I did it. We had 40 people the first time.
That's awesome.
Which I'm like, I would have been happy just to fill like one row of like 20 people, something like that. But yeah, we ended up with 40 people, and it was amazing. And even after the game, the first time, we had another guy come up to us and goes, yo, we tried doing something like this like a year or two ago. There's only like 5 or 10 of us. I'm like, join us. Let's make this thing bigger. Let's expand this thing. So yeah, then the second year came around, and the first year, I got to go back a little bit. The first year, it was perfect because it fell on April Fool's Day, which was a Friday at the time. So I'm like, it's April Fool's Day. It's Friday. So it's $2 beers and hot dogs at the game and all that stuff. Like, this just lines up too perfectly. So we got to do it there. And yeah, people are like, we can't wait to do this again. So now I just try and make it the Friday game closest to April Fool's Day as the home game for the Griffins. But yeah. And then the second year we had over 60 people the second one. So hoping to keep it going.
Well, I hope to be able to attend this the third year.
Yes, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, it was. I've been trying to do the first two, but just the timing and the way that life works out just wasn't feasible at that time.
I get it.
But no, it's something that I actually think is really cool, because what you're doing is you're bringing awareness to the refs and the incredible job that they do. And not many people take the time to cheer for them, because everybody goes to boo, to boo, to pick on the refs, to pick on the umpires. And that's starting to trickle down to what you're seeing at the youth level, where parents think it's okay to start yelling at kids for making a call, whether right or wrong. And the parents just feel like, or the adults just feel like, no, they're right. When they've actually never been in a situation to make that call themselves.
Absolutely. I've read articles about that, and maybe you've seen this one too, where I think it was this little league game or this kids league or something like that, where if the adults start trash talking the umpires,
Yep.
they get kicked out, and the only way they can get back in is if they umpire like 3 games or something like that.
3
It's
games,
like,
yep, and that's in New Jersey, yep.
Yep.
New Jersey Little League, and that's something that I think is pretty cool. It's something that if you have never had the chance to referee for kids, you'll absolutely fall in love with it. Just because the kids are flipping hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have like one-liners that you wouldn't even believe. So, like, I mean, I'm sure you've caught some of the mic'd up gold, like the mites, like the little guys.
Yes, I've seen
when they're mic'd up, and he's like, "Oh, dope, I got it," and just funny little things that you as an adult would never think about,
right?
And it's just one of those things where it's really cool. Not many people get a chance to do that. So it's, and I feel like this is something that it should be brought more mainstream, that, hey, let's tone it back down a bit. Yeah, it's fine, when you are joking around, but when you're taking it to where the kids, I mean, like, now the parents are starting to push kids, and it's just like, come on, like, I think I just saw one, like my cousin's little league down in Indiana. They were about to cancel the whole season, and they were like, you know what? No, this league, the kids want to play,
right?
So let's just stop with the yelling and the harassing. But if they catch you, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid's out. So not only are you out, but now you just affected your son or your daughter from the ability to compete and play against their friends.
You're taking all the fun out of it.
Right. And not only that, but like, they just want to play.
Mm-hmm.
They could care less about the politics. They just want to play. They want to have fun. They want to compete, and they want to make you proud. Right. So at the end of the day, what are we doing? Like, why are we, like, it's one thing at like the rec league, hockey league, refs, but at the same time, and I've done it, and you've done it.
I've done it too. Oh yeah.
And everybody plays like it's the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, but we don't have the talent. God forbid you
miss a call or something like that.
Oh, my goodness.
It's nonstop and all that. Yeah.
But the minute you make the right call, it's just as bad as if you missed the call too.
Yep. And it's crazy because you think, without refs and umps, you wouldn't have a game, because there has to be someone there to officiate it, to make sure that, at least to the best of their abilities, the rules are being followed, and everyone is playing in at least a sportsmanlike fashion. You're not going to catch everything. You're not going to be right all, like, 100% of the time. But I mean, yeah, regardless if it's kids league, rec league, professionals and stuff like that, mistakes are going to be made. People are human, and yeah, everyone wants everything to go their way. Look at even the NHL playoffs. There were tons of missed calls and all that stuff, but even with 2 referees on the ice, you're not going to find everything.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people start to forget is, hey, we all have to go to work on Monday. Nobody is getting paid other than the refs to be there. And if you're going to yell at everybody, nobody's going to show up, to ref those games, to make sure that you guys can participate. Georgetown's going through the same thing over here on the west side. I see they seem to have, they're struggling to get refs, on a weekly basis, and the same thing on the east side too. You're starting to see a lot of the refs and stuff like that they're hard to come by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to find people willing to do it if they're going to keep getting yelled at.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got into hockey.
Oh man, that goes back to probably 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, 5th grade. A couple of good buddies of mine were huge into hockey, and I was like an all sports kind of kid. I play football, baseball, soccer, all of that stuff. And they were really into hockey. I'm like, well, I want to play with my friends. So I'll start picking up a stick and playing a bunch of street hockey with them, and then it spilled over into playing video games with them, like Blades of Steel on the Nintendo and ice hockey, all of that, going way back, dating myself
That's
a bit.
way back. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and then we never got anything done once one of my friends got an N64 and he got the Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. We put hours and hours into that. But yeah, thanks to them, I became a Wings fan. I've been a Wings fan ever since. So, and they started me off just at the right time, because that was at 95 when they got swept by the Devils.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I watched that, didn't quite understand how big of a deal it was that they got swept, them being the big powerhouse that they were, but started catching on, paying a bit more attention to them. 96 lost to Colorado, and then 97 started the whole dynasty phase. So it was perfect timing for me.
Right.
But yeah, so it was hours and hours of street hockey and stuff. Never played organized hockey until my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
Where I made the JV team. I was on the fourth line. And as a sophomore, my line mates were eighth graders.
Oh, wow.
So as you can tell,
that's an eye opener right there.
Yeah.
But well, you got into it late, so don't beat yourself up.
Oh God, no. I was a late bloomer. Never made varsity, and like at the time I was kind of bummed and upset, especially my senior year, but then looking back on it now, I'm glad, because so my first year of organized hockey was sophomore year JV at Catholic Central High School downtown. Never made varsity. Looking back on it, I was glad, because I would have just paid to be a bench warmer the entire time. I'm like, I wouldn't have had fun with that. So
right.
So it wasn't until after I graduated that I started playing a lot of men's league and beer league and stuff after that. And that's how I started to hone a bit more of my skill a bit more and actually get better. And then a few years after that, my buddy Tim, he got me into roller hockey, and we played that together for several years, as you well know.
Yep. Yeah, because that's how we met. We met at Rivertown.
Yep. Good old Rivertown.
Oh, I miss it. I miss it.
Yeah, dude, same. But yeah, played a lot of beer leagues with ice, got into roller and stuff, and now I've switched over to goalie because I'm not crazy enough as it is. So been playing goalie. I did roller when Rivertown was still around for a few years, won some championships, and then we won
what, 2 or 3, right?
We won a few.
I think we won at least 2, maybe. I want to say at least 3.
Yeah, we've won more than one for sure. We've had
and that would have been with the Badgers, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Good old bad back in the heyday.
I know, right?
Yeah, but now going on the adulting side and stuff, I don't have much time to do the evening games and stuff. So I was fortunate enough to have a friend ask me to join his group of guys that get together and skate Wednesdays and Friday mornings at Patterson.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's a 6 a.m. skate, which is, I mean, hockey's the only reason I'll ever get up that early for. But I do that and play goalie for them, and it's great. It's fast paced. Like the guys know how to puck handle. There's good clean passes and stuff. Some guys who can definitely shoot it. So it's a challenge, and it's fun. It keeps me active.
Well, that's awesome, because like I didn't step foot back into a rink when I retired officially in 2015. I literally, once I stopped reffing, I didn't go back into a rink until February of last year.
Oh wow.
So when I finally stepped into a rink, it was Indianapolis at Ellenberger Park, home of the Indy Inline team. And that was like the smell. As soon as I walked in, I went, I miss this. And so like I had back surgery in 2015, so I hadn't really done anything with that. My stuff is still in my closet. I got married and then got divorced. I had a kid in between all of that, so it's like timing just wasn't there. But man, and I keep going, can I do this? Can I get back out there for like one more game? And then my body will tell me no.
Like,
no.
You got the heart, but we can't keep up.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, like, so like, I keep telling everybody, I go, if we can organize like the world's longest game, I'm in. I don't care. I'm in. I'll do that. I'll suffer whatever consequences will happen to me
Right.
after, but at least to say that I got a chance to play for, 3 or 4 days would be an absolute blessing.
There you go. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. So now, and getting up at 6 a.m. to play, and then you're done, in an hour.
Yep.
You're showered up, ready to go to work, and then knock out the rest of your day. That actually sounds kind of fun,
It works out pretty well, and it's kind of odd because usually I'm a night owl. Like I usually don't go to bed till like midnight, 1 o'clock, and all that stuff. But on the nights where I know I'm skating, because we have 3 goalies, so we have a rotation and all that stuff. So sometimes I'm playing both days, sometimes I'm only just playing 1 day a week. But I always know which one, and I go to bed early. I've got no problem with it, waking up, and then by about 9, 10 o'clock, I'm tired. I go to bed, and just kind of my body clock just resets, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Like when you really break it down, like that's pretty cool. You're still able to do that. Especially balancing the work and the work and family life that you've got going on too. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. You find ways to get it done. I mean, especially when it's that early in the morning, I'm like, I don't have to worry about the wife. I don't have to worry about the kids or anything like that. I can go. And by the time I get back, no one is up yet. So it doesn't matter.
Even better.
Exactly.
It's like you just went to the store without them knowing, and then snuck back into bed. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So, so you're gonna do another event coming up in April, for next year for the refereeing. Tell us the name of this event.
Yep. So it's called the Referee Appreciation Night at the Griffins. We have a public Facebook page, and I can share that with you if you want to include
Absolutely.
that anywhere. Yep. So that's where we have all of the info, and I mean, it stays pretty dormant during the off season and everything, and then it doesn't start picking back up until the schedule's released, because then I could talk about it and be like, okay, I know exactly what date we're going to do, because again, it's always going to be the Friday home game closest to April Fool's Day.
Right.
So that's what we'll be aiming for. Tickets will be about I think there were $20 last time. So unless there's a ticket hike or anything like that, it'll be about the same. And the eventual goal is I want to get one entire section of nothing but zebras.
Dude, I'm pretty sure we can make that happen.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. I mean, if we can grow as much as we have, I mean, because we grew by 50% in 1 year. I'm like, if we can keep that going and stuff, give it like another 2-3 years, we'll have an entire section filled.
Dude,
and
how cool would it be to have like that whole one side, of the Van Andel, just nothing but stripes?
I would love that so much. I would love that so much. Well, and so the funny thing is that the second year, my brother Zach, he works for the Griffins too, like I do on the promos team every so often.
Yep. Yeah.
He was working that game and was telling the reps like, "Hey, look up at this section and all that stuff." And so and every time that they'd skate out right before the period starts, stuff, they gave us like a little nod or a little fist pump and all that stuff, and we go nuts for them. And then after the game, they went up to my brother. He goes, "That's so cool that they do that."
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
amazing.
Like, we're giving back. We're providing some fun. Like even the fans were having fun with it too. There's a section over from us. They would start the like, "Let's go Griffins" chant, and then right when they do the drum part of it, we would just yell back, "Let's go refs." And so we would have these chant battles with the kids next to us constantly throughout the entire game. My voice was gone after that, but it was so much fun.
I bet. So now, you just mentioned something I was going to bring up is you also work for the Griffins too.
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah. Yep. So tell us a little bit about that, like how you got into that. We got a few more minutes left before we run out of time. So yeah,
sure.
So yeah, just give us a little bit of insight as to how you started going to a lot of Griffs games, and then you started working there.
Yeah, that was just kind of cool how that all came together. So another one of my good friends was an intern there for a year. He was their like in-crowd photographer when they were still doing that, taking photos of the crowd to post it up on social media.
Sammy.
And stuff. It was the guy who was Sammy, but before Sammy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was 2 or 3 years before him. Okay. But yeah, he said that he mentioned that they were looking for a promotions guy. So I'm like, well, what does a promotion guy do? And he's like, oh, they're the guys who skate out on the ice during intermissions throwing t-shirts at people. I'm like, I would love to do that. And I get paid to do that too. Absolutely. Count me in. Right. So my first year I did that was 2013 when the Griffins won their first Calder Cup. So
Nice.
again, perfect timing. Which was awesome because, and actually this just popped up in my Facebook feed as a memory of that 10 years ago, after they won the championship, I got to join them. I got to make my way into the locker room and sip a collective beer. There must've been like 3 or 4 beers combined in that thing, but I got to sip it out of the Calder Cup, which is fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, so I've been doing that for 10 years. And just, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, because I'd been with them long enough, the regular guys who are mascots there, every once in a while when they need a night off or something like that, they'll ask me to fill in.
Right.
So I've been Griff, I've been Finn at the games and all that stuff. I now do, I do some of the public appearances for other things that are going on. Like there's Meyer has their summer games thing coming up on Friday, and I'll be there being Griff for that. So
oh, cool.
It's a fun time. I love it.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's going to bring this episode to a conclusion. I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me tonight and for telling us a little bit about, the Ref Appreciation Night, and bringing awareness to, hey guys, let's just tone it down. Let's appreciate the refs for an incredible job that they do. Again, they may not always get the calls right. We're all passionate. We get it. But hey, at the end of the day, let's make sure that the refs know that, there's no real hard feelings here.
Right. There wouldn't be a game without them.
Exactly. So cool. All right, Jason. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.